What is up, Watch fam? I am Christian, the curator of the Theo Harris Watch Shop.
I'm Anna.
And today we're going to sit down and talk about a couple of big watch topics. Bulova, Doxa, and Ellen Degeneres' watch collection, and all this shit that's going on with her stuff. And that's it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Boom, Watch fam. Okay, wristwatch check. What are you wearing? Actually, we're both wearing...
This is funny.
Yeah.
I'm wearing Rolexes Datejust. I don't know if you can see.
Well, it was the cover photo of this week's video. We talked about Rolexes under $10,000.
Yeah.
I believe the average sale price for Rolex is around $12,500. I heard that from AD. So under $10,000 top pick, some cool stuff.
Good price point.
One of them.
This is like your favorite. This is the classic.
Yeah.
This is a Datejust, but it's on a presidential bracelet, which you don't always see.
And it's Rollies.
It's Rollies. It's engraved. There's a video on it. Go watch it.
I'm wearing a watch that I actually sourced on behalf of my mom for my dad. Cartier, oversized with a stepped case, really beautiful. These are rare watches, and when I bought this one 3 years ago, or whatever it was, no one was really talking about them. Totally like by chance. Now people are starting to see them a little more often. They're still
You still don't really see those, though.
No, you still don't. But when I found this one, like I didn't even know it existed, you know. So and I found it totally by chance. It was not like, you know, not like Indiana Jones of the vintage watch world, you know, but that also is pretty cool. I'm the Indiana Jones of the vintage watch market. All right, let's talk about first thing, Doxa. Doxa is a diver, right? Doxa is a manufacturer of dive watches. This one is the Sub 300, right? Sub 300, famously worn by Jacques Cousteau. Not a mass market brand, not a mass market watch, but does have a cult following.
They do, yeah. They have a very dedicated, enthusiast base. They released the Sub 300 that this watch is identical to it 3 years ago for their 50th anniversary. I think there were maybe a few fewer colors.
Right.
But they just released the Sub 300. This is not limited. There are 6 colors. They come on a beads of rice bracelet or a, I have to look at you. They come in a beads of rice bracelet or a rubber strap.
Yep.
I think they're great. They're averaging $2,500, not even. They're under $2,500. There's a slight difference for strap versus bracelet. Yeah, the watches are great. It reminds me very much of the Zodiac, bright color. That is a huge fan favorite. I think this is obviously something that a lot of watch geeks will really appreciate.
I love to see people wear watches specifically, but even other things as well that are a little bit different, colorful, exciting. You know, that's one of the things that I've always liked about, following some Italian dudes on Instagram, some of these style dudes, these older guys especially, is they'll wear a really vibrant blue pair of glasses. It's kind of cool. Shows your personality. People don't do that. Everyone has a kind of generic, not everyone, but it's very popular to have a generic taste in this country.
Yeah. Especially in watches.
No one wants to stick out, I think it's really cool to see people say, I actually really love the yellow Doxa.
Sure.
It's a great expression. Much easier to do in the summertime. I think colors are just a little bit more lenient in the summer. In the fall and winter, people are a little bit tighter. I like to see that. Again, Jacques Cousteau doesn't mean anything to me because I didn't grow up when it was popular. My dad loves Jacques. Remembers as a kid. Also never dived. I hardly swim. I'm afraid of sharks. So period.
Doggy paddle.
Right, doggy paddle. So although I was a good swimmer, I was on the swim team, and when I was in middle school, I was Manor Park
Were you
Swim
really?
Club.
I actually didn't know that.
Yep, it was very, very good.
I was the worst on the swim team.
I was kind of
high
a
school.
chunky kid in the Speedo. It was super good. Just don't look for any photos of that, because if you find one, I'll kill you. Anyway, not my thing, but still very, very cool. I'm actually excited that it's being released. I know that people are a little upset, maybe.
Yeah, because it was released as a limited run in 2017. There were 300 of each color. Yep. Those diehard fans, they kind of prove themselves. Buying that watch could feel a little snubbed, but I don't know how big of an issue that actually is.
Because those guys, in theory, have been going around saying, I got the limited edition.
But are
Doxa.
you saying that about the Doxa?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you're really into it, you're saying, I'm one of the few people that were lucky enough to snag up the limited edition Doxa 3 years ago. And
now
sorry,
you
can't have
watch.
it. Right, so it's no longer cool on that level.
But it is still very cool.
Yes, it is still very cool. I'm happy this is happening. I hope to see it continue. You're right. In the comparison, the parallel to the Zodiacs, colorful dive watches, summertime, vintage brand, redoing it now. I'm all about it. I hope to see more from them. Period.
Me too.
Next topic, and this is kind of more of a flyover topic. There's no such thing as a flyover state, but there are flyover topics, and this is one of them. Bulova. Bulova's maybe the most famous watch, I guess, the Accutron, right?
Oh, yeah.
Very, very famous. 1960s, I believe. Take the lead here. Help me out.
So they reintroduced this 60s watch. There are two versions, the Accutron Spaceview 2020 and then the Spaceview DNA.
Yep.
The only difference between these two watches really is they have independent color schemes, but is the case shape. The Spaceview 2020 has sort of like traditional straight lugs, and then the DNA has these like rounded, like futuristic.
It's futuristic, yeah.
It's just a blob of a case, which is a lot because it's already 45 millimeters, so.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot. But these watches, they take really heavy design inspiration from the original in color and in sort of layout. It has a strong connection to its roots. The watches are selling for like $3,000 and then $4,000. What are your thoughts on this watch?
I actually like the dials. I think the vintage ones are very cool. I love the green. I love the skeleton look.
Vintage are cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing.
Honest watch.
The same way that I love and wax poetic about Cartier, and people find me boring, and some people are like, okay, that's enough of Cartier. Like, it's a girl's watch, cut it out. It's kind of what I say about this. I don't care. I really don't care. It's not my thing. I don't find them particularly interesting. I also think that I'm a little bit biased because as someone who's dealt in vintage watches for so long, I know how much of a pain in the ass vintage tuning fork movements can be. Getting parts is impossible. So I'm definitely biased. I resent tuning forks. I do. I resent some of my least favorite memories are the two tuning fork watches I bought. You know, it's a huge pain in my ass. But is it different? Yes. Historically, is it interesting? Absolutely. Am I interested in it? No. Geology is very interesting. Not my thing, right? Like so while we're talking about interesting things that I am not particularly passionate about, there you go. Although, you know what's cool? No, seriously, quick geology tangent. I was at an event at London Jewelers in the Hamptons.
I know what you're about to say.
Why are you screaming at me?
Sorry.
I see this guy, looks interesting, looks like he's really looking at things and thinking about them, you know, and I was like, I gotta talk to this guy. I go over to the guy and I say, you know, pleasure, my name's Christian, you know, thank you for coming, blah, blah, blah.
Did you?
What are you wearing on the wrist? And he shows me his white gold day-date with a meteorite dial, and he is, I believe, a meteorologist, right? And he said how cool it was for him, and he's never like bought an expensive watch before, that Rolex made a watch with an actual meteorite. That's it. And I was like, that is the coolest, you know, thing.
He was the same guy whose wife's ring was like from a piece of, right? From like a meteor that he hit.
Yeah,
anyways,
maybe.
Here's a picture of the ring. It's beautiful.
You have a picture of the ring?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Anyway.
I did my job.
Anyway, not interested in this watch. 3,000, 4,000. I don't think they'll have mass market appeal.
Can we also, sorry to cut you off. If you can see that copper coil, I'm like, nope, not gonna pay more than $100 for it. Because it is not only, I mean, I get like sort of like totally transparent nature of this watch is cool. Like
certain things should be hidden.
You can see that, but that should be hidden.
That's why Adam wore a leaf, you know. Certain things. That's why Adam wore a leaf, you know. Certain things just.
Certain things should be hidden.
It's not good looking. You know?
It's not. It's just not. It's not a good look. It doesn't match any of the color schemes. It's not good. It's not good.
Right.
Also, I think they should do a much better job of explaining why this isn't a new sort of technology. I understand that they are using electrostatic technology, which is different than using a battery.
Yeah.
So you can either power a quartz watch by battery or by static electricity.
Right.
And they're using static electricity, and that's those three different like spinning things. Hodinky, I think, is the only place you can see it. Had a little GIF of them running. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Still don't really understand how it's not just a quartz watch. And if it is a quartz watch, with maybe they're doing it in a different way, but basically it's just a quartz watch, why not just get like a Grand Seiko quartz watch, which offers a beautiful design for like $2,000?
Right. I agree with you there. Here's my biggest problem with this watch is I think that its launch tactics, it showed a lack of understanding for how to launch something that isn't mass market. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
They
kind of assumed everyone was going to like...
They didn't storytell on it.
Yeah.
Really very few people care about Accutrons.
Yeah.
So the idea is...
And maybe that's wrong, but then you have to tell it.
Of course it's wrong. It's great. That's the greatest challenge, right? You don't have to sell. You don't have to spin something that's garbage. You need to actually just storytell on something that's interesting.
Yeah.
And it wasn't done well. Hodinkee did a partnership with them like 2 weeks ago. It was in paid partnership. It was advertised as such. It was lame. I don't think they did a good job. It wasn't particularly interesting. Yeah. Period. End. And I don't think they did a good job. But anyway, moving on to the flyover topic. Ellen Degeneres. Ellen Degeneres is in the news a lot these days, and because of that, we've been talking about her watches recently.
Yeah.
Ellen Degeneres has been, pretty widely criticized recently for being kind of a rude person to her staff.
Yeah, or like ignoring abuse that was happening under her nose and like maybe by her direction. There's all kind of ambiguous.
Absolutely no remark to the validity of those claims. I do think it's funny, however, that the only people that have stood up and said that she's a good person have been celebrity guests that of course would have been treated well. That's kind of funny. Like you haven't had one person come up like from the staff, I don't think, say, no, none of this is true. I work there every day. Yeah. You only have like Kevin Hart, who I'm sure was treated well. And I don't think Nick Cannon's in any position right now either to be, vouching for character. So listen. Yeah. That aside, the only reason I mention that is because it's popular, it's on people's minds. But Ellen, while maybe not the most attentive leader, these are the accusations that are flying. It's reality. She's a hell of a watch collector. Period. End.
She has some good consultants.
Yes, consultants. Absolutely. People like me, I'm not actually. I don't know why I haven't built this part of the business, but people are paid to help people find watches.
You've helped people before.
A little bit. But
you can email him and ask him for that, and you can pay him for it.
Yes. Well, usually when I help clients find something, I don't think I've ever charged for the advice. I usually just hope that they will then go to me for the purchase. That's usually it. But there are people that will pay for their opinion and their education, which is totally fair. It's basically the same thing as a, webinar. It's like a personal one-on-one. Anyway, John Player Special, 5270 in platinum with diamonds, vintage Milgauss, which apparently was a gift. Every Explorers, all of these things, basically Patek and Rolex, most notably, some AP. But I'll tell you, not only does she obviously have an unlimited bank account,
which she said many times. There was that hilarious 5-second game where they said it's like 5 things that you don't have.
No, name one. I think it was one thing.
No, it was like 3.
Okay.
It was more than one.
And 3 things that you want that you don't have.
First second was like, I have everything I want. Which, and then she has these watches, makes sense.
All right, Ellen, what are 3 things you wish you owned but don't?
And what I liked about, talking about Ellen just for one more second, what I actually liked about, I don't watch the Ellen show, never really have, but what I actually liked about it was, obviously she has a whole hell of a lot of money, and I think that she handled it in a way that was honest, not apologetic, and just, hey, you can, I know the common narrative is that you're a piece of shit if you have a lot of money, but like, I'm a good person. Right. I actually liked that. I liked it a lot. Mm-hmm. So again, I have no information as to the validity of the allegations against her, but I do remember that moment where she was able to laugh at herself. Her whole stand-up, her whole 10 minutes intro to her stand-up was about how totally detached she is. Mm-hmm. With a world where celebrities are pretending as if they're the normal person, it is refreshing for one celebrity to say, guys, I love you, but I don't know nothing about your life. Like I am. She made fun of her bathroom. It was like a 4,000 square foot bath. You know what I mean? Like she's making a joke about it. So anyway, hell of a watch collector though. Hell of a watch collector. All right, I think we covered a couple of cool topics. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to continue this. I know we didn't like the format of our last one, like stylized, but I think that while you're in the appliance corner,
I am in the appliance corner.
All these appliances, it's still, I think it worked. Thank you so much.